Hi, we are going to discuss about callus culture. We are going to discuss what is callus culture, what are the principles and protocols of callus culture, and how a callus is formed in tissue culture, and what is the morphology, internal structure, and characters of callus tissue, and what is the importance of callus culture. So, we know that the plant body of higher organism is multicellular and highly organized and differentiated structure, and the different tissues which are present within a plant function in a highly coordinated manner, and conversion of this organized tissue into unorganized proliferating mass of cells is called as callus tissues. This unorganized proliferating mass of cells which is formed from an organized tissue is called as callus, and this callus formation can take place in three different ways, either by mechanical method or chemical method or by the activity of infecting agents. Moving on, in nature, callus or callus-like tissue can be formed in various parts of plant, and they may be formed either due to two reasons. First one is due to deep wounds, and second one is due to infection. First, let us see what the callus formed by deep wounds. Deep, large wounds which are present in branch or trunks can lead to formation of soft mass of unorganized parenchymatous tissue, and a callus formed in such a way on or below an injured surface is called as wound callus. And wound callus is mainly formed by the activity of three types of tissue. They can form by the division of cambial tissue, they can form by the activity of parenchymatous cells of the cortex, or they can form by the activity of xylem or phloem rays. And growth of wound callus is very limited, and function of formation of wound callus is for healing the wound. So callus which is formed as a result of wound is called as wound callus, and its main function is to heal the wound. Now, in certain higher plants, unorganized, compact, wart-like outgrowths are seen on stem, leaf, root, etc. And they are formed as a result of stimulation of cell division on fully differentiated cells. And this stimulation of fully differentiated cells to form callus is caused due to some diseases, and these diseases can be caused either by fungus or bacterium, viruses, insects, or due to some genetic factors. Such calli-like growths which are formed as a result of disease are called as galls or tumors. These are the two types of callus which are naturally occurring around us. Now, moving on, in tissue culture, the callus tissues are produced experimentally from an explant of any healthy plant. So, explants are cultured aseptically in vitro under controlled condition on a specific nutrient containing specific phytohormones to produce callus. And these excised tissues of the explant loses their structural integrity and changes completely to rapid proliferating unorganized mass of cells which is called as callus tissue. And we will be discussing throughout this session about the callus tissue which is formed experimentally by culture of explants in a suitable nutrient medium containing the required phytohormones. So, what is callus tissue? So, callus tissue is an unorganized proliferating mass of cells which are produced from isolated cells, tissues, or organs when grown aseptically on artificial nutrient medium in glass vials under controlled experimental conditions. So, callus is an unorganized mass of proliferating mass of cells which are produced from explants, which can be either cells, tissues, or organs, and these explants are grown aseptically in such a condition that there are no microorganisms, and they are grown on a nutrient medium, and nutrient medium consists of the required phytohormones, macronutrient, micronutrient, vitamin, iron, antibiotics, etc., and they are grown under controlled experimental conditions. So, discussing about the principle and protocols of callus culture. For initiating a callus culture from an explant, three important criteria should be fulfilled. First one is aseptic preparation of the plant material. Second criteria is selection of suitable nutrient media which are supplemented with appropriate ratios of phytohormones. And the third important criteria is incubation under controlled physical conditions. So we have to satisfy these three conditions for producing a callus from an explant using tissue culture. First is aseptic preparation, second one is selection of suitable nutrient media, and third criteria is incubation under proper conditions. So, as we all know, for aseptic preparation of the explant, we have to sterilize the explant. All around the plant there are a lot of microorganisms, and if these microorganisms are present in the explant which we are culturing onto nutrient medium, there are chances that these microorganisms may grow faster and prevent the explant from growing. So, sterilization of explant is an important step, and standard protocol for sterilization of explant can be followed. That is, first it can be washed with tap water, then it can be washed with detergent, then we can transfer the explant into laminar airflow. There again it can be washed with alcohol, disinfectant like mercury chloride, bromine water, silver nitrate, etc., and then again it can be washed with sterilized distilled water. After this explant has been surface sterilized, it has to be aseptically cut into small segments. The size of explant is an important factor which control initiation of callus. So after cutting this explant or trimming of explant, we have to transfer them into medium. Usually semi-solid agar medium is used for culture, and as we all know, for sterilizing the medium we have to autoclave the medium, and autoclaving is usually done at 121 degrees Celsius, 15 atmospheric pressure for 15 to 20 minutes in an autoclave. And for healthy growth of a callus, the medium has to be supplemented with both auxin and cytokinin. And so we are inoculating this explant into a medium which has been autoclaved and which contain both auxin and cytokinin. After inoculation, next process is incubation. Incubation means keeping the glass vials which has been inoculated in a room under controlled temperature, light, humidity conditions which are required for callus initiation. The temperature is usually set at 25 plus or minus 2 degrees Celsius. For callus initiation for different species, light condition is different. Some species require total dark condition for initiation of callus. Other require a 16-hour light and 8-hour dark photoperiod for developing callus. And light we are providing of 2000 to 3000 lux artificial light using cool white fluorescent lamp. And relative humidity is maintained at 55 to 60 degree. And once callus has grown, they can be subcultured serially and maintained for a long time. So now let us look how a callus tissue is formed from explant. So callus formation is an outcome of cell expansion and cell division. These two processes are the main processes which are involved in callus formation: cell expansion and cell division. First of all, we know that explant is a highly differentiated tissue. The explant cells first loses its original characteristics, and after that the exogenous hormones which are present in the medium triggers a growth sequence within the cells of the explant, which leads to cell enlargement and cell division, which leads to formation of callus. The explant undergo irreversible changes in size, shape, symmetry, structural organization and cellular integrity. An initiation of callus culture is easier from tissues of young seedlings or juvenile parts of a mature plant. This is because the young seedlings or the juvenile parts of mature plants have growth momentum already present in them because of the presence of large number of meristematic cells within these young or juvenile parts of a plant. Next, an important factor for callus formation is the hormone. Usually callus formation take place in a medium which has been supplemented with both cytokinin and auxin. These exogenously supplied hormones and nutrients are being absorbed by the cells of the explant, and this absorption of nutrients lead to formation of a nutrient gradient within the cells based on the location of the cells, and due to this nutrient gradient which is established within the cells divides asynchronously depending on availability of nutrients, and callus is formed. So, depending on the type of explants we are taking, different process can take place as a part of callus formation. The process of first one is enlargement in size or swelling, followed by rupture of tissues take place after a few days of culture. When we are transferring an explant to a new medium, these processes take place. Enlargement in size can take place, swelling can take place, and rupture of tissues take place after few days. And later we can see from the cut ends or the ruptured surfaces, little irregular cellular masses start appearing, and this injury due to excision lead to formation of callus at the cuts. So first of all, we can see irregular masses of cells start appearing from the cut ends of the explant or from the ruptured surfaces. And the reason for this irregular cellular mass to appear in the cut end is that while we are cutting the parts, certain growth substances oozes out of these cut parts, and they can stimulate callus formation. And another explanation for this cut parts giving rise to callus is that when the exogenous and endogenous hormone concentration reaches a threshold level only, it can lead to formation of callus, and at the cut end the exogenous interactions are very high and the threshold level of hormones can be first reached at the cut parts. Therefore they start giving rise the callus first. And as we all know, both auxin and cytokinin are required for callus formation, and auxin is required for growth and cytokinin for cell division. And in a explant, first callus tissue or irregular mass of cells start appearing at the cut end. As we can see in the figure A, the callus has started appearing in the cut end, and later on in the B figure we can see that the whole tissue get involved in callus formation. So initially the cut part start giving rise to the callus, and later on the whole tissue will get involved in the formation of callus. Thank you.